I will do that one moment. And there we are. We have now 11 participants, but I assume that a few more are dropping in. Anyway, we have the same meeting schedule as usual. After a call for demos and demo slots, we have 2 demos scheduled today. One by Omar Shafiq from Vaccify, initiative from Pakistan, and Luke Chase and Nick Morris about the COVID-19 pass. And let me check the participants lists, whether the presenters are already available. I see Nick Morris, so that's good. And I think I see Omar Shafiq as well. Ah, hello. Yes, everybody. The important people are there.
Hey, Oscar.
Hi. Let's see. Oh, and I just get the message that it will be Nick who will be presenting. Excellent. So let me just check before we go to the demos. We have already a good schedule of demos for 2 weeks from now. So we have Verida from Chris Weir and Zero Status from Freddy Swansker. But we still have slots open for October 13. So is there anyone here that's either on this list or not available or interested in presenting a demo on October the 13th? Just being more concrete, I think Sami Amara sent me an out of office message, but from all the others, Chloe Chan, Jesus Ruiz, I haven't heard from them. Sharon, are you online? I don't think so. Also, Eric Fenton is not here, or Eric Chow. Okay, anyway, this means that for the leadership of this work stream, we need to start contacting parties and see whether there are more of them interested in presenting here. So before we go to the demos, is there anything else in the more generic space that we should discuss? Okay, hearing nothing, then I would like to give the floor to Omar Shafiq. Please go ahead and take until 30 minutes past the hour for your demo.
All right, thank you very much, Oscar. Just let me share my screen. All right. All right. So, okay, can you see my screen?
Excellent.
Perfect. All right. Well, let me start with a little bit of introduction about myself. I'm not sure how many people on the call know me already. Well, my name is Omar and I work for a Nordic company named Tieto Evry in Helsinki, Finland. And within the Blockchain Center of Excellence as a senior architect. But having my roots from Pakistan, I understood there could be a lot of post-pandemic challenges that a developing country like Pakistan can face, due to which I initiated Vaccify under the TrustNet Pakistan's umbrella, which is an entity that we carry on back in Pakistan. And inspired by CCI, what we were trying to do were we were trying to create an open source effort to tackle post-COVID digital trust challenges in Pakistan, specifically in the vaccination area, and carrying the CCI's vision of using verifiable credentials to bring value to people. We were able to propose a digital vaccination ecosystem for the people in a developing country like Pakistan. Above all, it was a collaborative effort, which means that when I started all of this, I was technically pretty much all alone, but I made a call for action. So a lot of people all across the globe, majorly quite a few people from Pakistan, technical and non-technical, joined in to help aid on this venture. And everything that I'm going to show you today is based on open source contributions of people who have joined us on Vaccify. Now, before we move ahead, there are a few things I would like you to understand. That is that there is a huge difference between digital identity challenges when it comes to a developing country and a developed country. So, which means a country like Pakistan usually is mostly relied on paper-based credentials, which means that translating a real-world trust to digital world is extremely complicated. Now, not only that, there are a lot of other issues like, if I give an example of here in Finland, we have a really good ecosystem of healthcare and of course, governance of vaccinations here in Finland. But back in Pakistan, the vaccination ecosystem and the data governance around it is virtually non-existent, which means that people cannot control, or people cannot even have any sort of any kind of management over their vaccinations or whatnot. Now, which actually brings us to a point that there is technically no digitally verifiable information across that area, and interoperability around such systems is a dream actually. So what we have done with that is we have focused on a travel use case in which we have thought about issuing digital vaccination certificates for people who could travel. And I'll walk you through the process of the issuance of such certificates and then verification of them in a while. But before that, there's something that I want to mention, that back in 2014, Pakistan had a sanction on its travel, that nobody can travel from Pakistan to anywhere else in the country unless they have a polio certificate. So that being a motivation on the back that if that can happen in past, certainly something that can happen after the pandemic as well. With that in mind, we have designed this, that it should be easier for people to manage such certificates and have them more privacy oriented using SSI, while not only being private, other stakeholders should have certain governable rights on issuance and verification. Which means we had to come up with an approach that is a hybrid, which utilizes some part of it as a, utilizing real world trust and hybriding and combining it with a little bit of digital trust, so it can work in harmony with the current systems that are in place in Pakistan. So that brings us to what have we produced in the past couple of months with Vaccify. So the first thing that we aimed was that we wanted to propose an ecosystem that can be used to issue and govern these digital vaccination certificates, for which we will be publishing a white paper. I'll give you a glance of that in a while, and after that, a strong baseline, open source baseline, to take this kind of solution into the next phase, either piloting it or taking it even one step ahead. And just to prove the point that such a system can work, and SSI can play a really big role in securing people's privacy, as well as issuing digital certificates, a proof of concept that that is based on the white paper we will be publishing. So without any further ado, I'll be walking you through a demo now. And the demo actually is split into two parts, where the first part is about issuance of this digital vaccination certificate. And the second part is about the verification of this digital certificate. Like I said, we were only focused on post-COVID challenges, which brings us to just the vaccination part of it. Yeah, so like I was saying, the white paper. So this is almost ready. It's going through a peer reviewing process right now between among all the contributors and some of the people in our community. So as soon as this is done, we will be publishing it, and then hopefully it will be available for everybody else to read and comment. And everything else that I'm going to show you today is also, all the code is open source and is available on our GitHub repository. So you can always take a peek under the hood if you feel like. All right, so let's jump on to the demo. All right, so let me turn on this app. So this is a mobile wallet app that one can use to manage their vaccination certificates. So I'm going to go through the onboarding process and have it secure by a biometric and a passcode. Pretty much similar to any other wallet, mobile wallet application out there. There are three different sections to this. There's actions that you will be managing. There will be your certificates and your connections with some entities. Now, on the left side, you can see this. All right, so there will be these two entities, a medical facility, which we have mimicked a healthcare hospital that will be issuing us a digital certificate onto this app on the right side, and an aviation airline and an aviation authority and airport or some sort that will be verifying this vaccination certificate. So let's go ahead and issue this digital vaccination certificate to the person on who owns this mobile. Wait a second. I think we are facing some issues with this. All right, wait a second. I think I also have a recorded demo. So in case I thought something could go wrong, I'll pull that up. So just give me a second and I'll give you that. All right, where is it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so let's go with this one here. All right, so yeah, so you open this web application, which is going to be issuing you a vaccination certificate, and a health authority person could log into it, and moving on, they can they can add on your information, which includes your personal information and your travel document information, along with the vaccination of the information of the vaccination that is being given to you. So, for example, in this case, a vaccination of SARS-CoV-2 is given, which was manufactured by Moderna, and a certain amount of dose and unit is, and it's valid till this date, let's say 10 years or whatnot. And at this moment, a QR code is generated, which is scanned by the person who is going to receive this vaccination certificate. And the moment he scans this QR code, he gets a request that either he wants to consent to this sort of information that it's going to be issued to him. So the moment he consents to that, there is a biometric verification for that. And the moment after the verification is done, the medical facility can issue a vaccination certificate to this person. And in a matter of seconds, you get to see that a vaccination certificate with certain information is issued to a person, which can be seen in the certificate section of his mobile wallet app. And this is what he holds, which he or she can use to prove as a matter of digital certificates. Now, one thing to be noticed is that this digital certificate is issued to a document ID CX12. That is important, so because you'll see in a second. All right, so moving to the second part of this demo, where this particular certificate is verified, you can, you go to, let's say, to an airport. There are two parts to it, technically. One is that you can either verify this certificate face-to-face, for example, in a scenario where you are boarding a flight, or you can verify this certificate online, for example, while issuing, while reserving a flight ticket. So first we'll walk through an on-location demo where you will be proving that you are vaccinated while you're boarding a plane. So while you're boarding a plane, a person can on the airport can just simply show you can check your identity and put your document ID, let's say passport number, in on his computer, and based on that, they will show you a QR code that you have to scan. And the moment you scan this QR code, you can you get a request of consent, that do you consent that you want to provide them with certain information about your vaccination. And if you consent based on a biometric verification, your data is transferred to them, of course, based on how much you want to share with them. And in few seconds, less than a minute, hopefully, you get verified, and your information your information regarding your travel document and your vaccination, its expiration date or whatnot, is transferred onto the and in a verified manner to the aviation institute. Now, let's say instead of doing that in a manner on location, you want to do that in a manner of online while booking a flight ticket. So for example, this person who has already been vaccinated and has a vaccination certificate, he wants to book a flight ticket from, let's say, Lahore, which is a city in Pakistan, to let's say Helsinki. And based on that, now the airlines could require certain proof of verification of his vaccination. Just for the demo purposes, there's a lot of information that we are requiring for verification. For example, your vaccination name, manufacturer, validation of validation date, and your document ID or whatnot. And in order to verify this, the pipeline is pretty much similar. You add your document ID, your passport number, and you are given a QR code, which you will be scanning in order to get a consent request. And based on that consent request, you can prove that you have been vaccinated. So yeah, so this is the process which walks you through the whole verification pipeline while verifying your credentials, which were issued to you earlier by a healthcare institute. Yeah, so, and technically the information that was requested from you, which you consented for, gets automatically pre-filled into your, let's say, your ticket booking process, which will be verified. And then later on, you can continue with booking your flight tickets. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, we have tried to make it really simple and mitigate all the friction that can come in when it comes to users trying to understand how they can make it work. And of course, in terms of organizations who could easily adopt it. So this is a very, how would I say it, is a very powerful yet simple flow that one can use to issue, hold, and verify their vaccination certificates. So that would be all. Any questions on that?
I have a question. So suppose you come and visit me in the Netherlands to my home, and
Yeah.
I install this system. Can I also put a QR code, and you can share your vaccination certificate with me? Is that correct?
Yeah, we definitely can. You need to actually, it works like this, that you can send me, you can request for consent to verify my vaccination.
Yeah, okay.
And it will be up to me to either accept or reject that request.
Sure, but otherwise you can't come into my house.
Yeah, definitely not.
Any more questions? I see some questions in the chat. Omar, perhaps you can have a look at the chat.
Yeah, wait a second. Let me take a quick peek. All right.
So the first question is a very long one from Sankarshan. Sankarshan, could you perhaps spell out your question?
We'll skip that for the interest of time. We can go to Freddy's.
Sure, no worries. All right, so Freddie's asking about how do we handle the transfer of data between parties, either a relay server or what. So the whole system is based on Aries. So what you are seeing is the issuer here. Wait a second. Yeah, I think the issuer here. This is technically a front end to an Aries agent, and this is technically talking to an Aries agent and issuing a certificate, making all the whole communication channel happens through Aries protocol with either the verifier or with the mobile phone wallet. So when you talk about transferring data, I would say the Aries protocol is the magic that we are using to transfer anything between anywhere.
Omar?
Yes.
It's Richard Bookman in Miami. First, just a great demo, and it just looks very clean, and I really appreciate the sort of simplicity of what you've done, and it really looks cool. I'd be interested to hear about your thinking as to why the verifier needs all of the information that is in the vaccine certificate.
No, it doesn't. Technically, you can cherry pick what you want to share. Just for the sake of demo, we have just put out everything there. As you can see, let's say, just for the sake of demo, everything is out there. But technically, the system, as you know, that Aries is capable of the zero knowledge proofs, and we can definitely, without any major modifications, you can just cherry pick that you just want to either prove that yes or no, you are vaccinated or not, or just yes, you are vaccinated and your document travel ID number, let's say your passport number or something. So based on how much, what are the protocols and what kind of SOPs needs to be followed in a country, this can be done. Back in Pakistan, what usually goes through is that people need to verify everything, not just the the fact about that you're vaccinated or not. They also need to check, okay, who vaccinated you and when, and till what date. So it's just for the proof of concept that we are showing that, okay, we're requesting everything that the issuer has issued you, but definitely it can be controlled and can be more privacy oriented with not even many changes there.
But that control really is given to the verifier rather than the user.
Not really, actually. You see, when I as a user scan for a request that who wants to verify my vaccination certificate, I get to choose either I want to provide this information or not. Now, of course, this mobile app that we have here, it's not so advanced that you could just provide back, let's say, only 1 or 2 of the requested attributes back, but definitely that is possible to do. But at the same time, I, as a consumer, can choose either I want to reply to that request or not.
Got it. Okay, thanks, Omar.
We have another question in the chat from Siva.
All right. So the question is like, how has been the reception from verifiers adapting this in Pakistan? Looks like from the polio example from the past, interest is very much there. Well, we are yet to, we are already in discussions with few of the organizations, but the bureaucracy behind putting a system like this in a pilot is very complicated. So we are definitely trying to put this in collaboration with the government, because in order to get this up and running, it's very difficult for only private vendors to take step in and become issuers, and then only private vendors to become verifiers. Now, for this, we need to first engage with a certain units who are handling the COVID SOPs and policies, and once they can admit that that a policy can be formed around digital vaccination verification, then all the verifiers and issuers can be easily onboarded on this, because there are already programs that are undergoing, of course, not in this context, but different contexts. But the dynamics of handling such a problem in Pakistan are very different as compared to we could do anywhere else in the world.
So I'm only half joking, Omar, when I suggest you start with cricket players.
Well, believe me, if I could, I will.
I have another question that is, in the Netherlands, we have hundreds or maybe even thousands of labs that do tests, and also the vaccination is quite scattered. There are many parties that can do vaccinations. It can be your doctor, it can be your local community healthcare. So yeah, we have many issuers in the Netherlands. How does this work in Pakistan? How do you know that if a doctor from a random village in Pakistan gives you a vaccination, and then how can the verifier know that the digital signature of that doctor is actually a doctor that can be trusted and the vaccine was real and not water?
Yeah, about that, we well, in our initial planning and work on this idea, the team of people that we were working, we definitely came across this. And I also remember reading more about from the CCI about verifying the verifiers. So we also came up with an idea of accreditators, in which there will be an entity that will issue verifiable credentials to issuers. And whenever you're gonna verify a certain vaccination certificate, you don't only verify the vaccination certificate, but you also verify the verifier who have issued that. So based on the credential that was issued to that person. So we do have we did thought it through about that a mechanism could be put in place for that. But in an early stage, technically it's all about a consortium. So imagine this kind of solution going in pilot in Pakistan. So a person who is part of the consortium, if they decide to build a private network to issue such credentials, then the people who could be able to join such a consortium could actually be part of. They won't need any sort of verifying because the network could be private. So there are a lot of dynamics to it, and but we do have certain solutions to deal with it. For example, like I said, there could be an accreditor in the ecosystem that accredits that who is a valid verifier, or if not, then it has to be a private network.
Thank you very much. Also, thank you very much for staying in time. Yeah, I agree with Richard that this was really refreshing and well thought through. And by the way, I was fascinated by the QR code. I didn't know that you could have a QR code with that high resolution, but that's for a different moment. My proposal is that we move to the next demo and go to Nick Morris. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Nick, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Oscar.
Please make sure that we finish about 5 before the whole hour, such that we can do also in any other business check. Thanks.
Sure. I anticipate that